Now, before my bar and also out of the 5, because in the last elections, you know, Bawumia, there is no way I now want to support it. No, was supported no. And then and was some backtrack from Dr. Alhaji Bahamadu Bawumia na was switching the camp.
No crepa ne say. Me believe in Dr. Bawumia na agenda that.
You have never believed in it before.
Man support Dr. Bawumia. Even though nipa no bebre, me am nua pani Dr. Brian Champon no, my boss Dr. Osedu Chun mu na support no, but man support no. Ne mo makoye se bese panic na yede ahaban. Penifo se sebio yetase ne banyansafo. Nti o boss okra pe vice. Abena me boss Dr. Osedu Chun no lobby for vice strongly pa. I know you're very forerunner. Nti ano sa no, wo de nyansa be de ebeka ho. Ba bi obekọ no, ana wonso be de obekọ. Se wa anko ho a o ye bibia pie kura tia na untimi nya de enyo ne sa. Okay. Aha, nti na me wo ken.
Oh,
because
I see.
Me believe in Dr. Bawumia agenda because we amanyosem no se bi edi nipa na ye de eyo. Ana amanyosem ayo no. It's also a game of strategy. So na the game of strategy aye ka ho asem ni. Obi a ekọ contest a or the baby a na ho de gya na o de ye de ekọ. So wo hwe ye history ni abakọ mu pa as a party. Baby a ho de ni gina pa nipa eta to aba mostly the can regions. Openity asem.
Ethiopia.
And we has nothing to do with one more will blackmail you into silence and make you look like say oh yeah tribal politics. But no cre no cre. NDC for Anna Ashisa 2 years so say MPP yeah come party ni MP not necessarily
NDC for na
and oh someone aka na they be ambusa said no more kasa yes and kan so say almost on kofa obi fi Asante region and yet one more by presidential candidate almost pass Asante for and asa can fire the so me by way of strategy no not on a tribal basis per se but be a me who say numbers in free ban usually by way of strategy no what the candidate in free where na idiomachi but candidate electing we are not electing him on the basis say okay we need power by electing on the basis say yes say NDC for say MPP for pen ordinance assem when you go into an election with that mentality and for so be anya the emma so the emma the you say ni ko we need election you say
but I think sir for the purpose of which any political party be call elections is basically to win.
Yes, but I'm make say in our case, you know, one of the fundamental reasons Dr. Bawumia as MPP is any person NDC for Ghana for who say
oh,
when
no, really?
No, but that was the basis. Say NDC for say pen ordinance assembly.
Modern buy not just refute that claim.
In that case, you know, a strong candidate now where the who because of a certain perception that you want to clear. What I say, who because of a certain perception that you want to clear. But beyond that, see, you say, oh, one of the normal one day campaign in a campaign so abbreviate your can't vote so. Is that the infant not so many?
No,
and also be said, be a make and yellow crap. One more equi and also buy it. No any club no other region, Olusu by 16% or who for the votes by 16%. Oba can regions also or reduce Akufo-Addo votes by 31%. The whole Ghana or reduce Akufo-Addo votes in 2020 by 33%.
Is it not because na Yuri Akufo-Addo na kasada performance the beer na NDC will say will be near those.
But the beer na more separate Dr. Bawumia from Yuri Akufo-Addo. Na maintiase. How do you separate you? Mama as a vice president, they say as a spokesperson be over by him. Vice president is the second gentleman of the land. And you will say,
and of course, I'm penny ni one more will take you over as the president.
My main factors in terms say I don't believe in this candidature, not only on way of strategy, but even you can't by way of strategy. Prana, oh election, oh yeah, the work on. Ade do buy yes be ye na wo hu nim de wa ho den was so high on the economy. So now course so say now course NDC dollar free 1.4. Yeah. Nti yes so
ma fi abem net da 4. Yeah.
Oh, but free abem no for 4 because
17. Yeah.
Nti here there no man for no team hwe so catch us say ento abaya the amount. Obviously they will going to punish you based on that. What I say. Nti no Akufo-Addo na manage dollar no. Ebi na nya Akufo-Addo na.
But we've had explanations like the surge of COVID-19. So one of the factors are
I was coming there. So if I'd allow me to learn, that was the point I was coming to make. That I will not pretend to say dollar be a cost and yet Dr. Bawumia na Akufo. No, obi enu hobesha da yede ayesa. Na no kwen say whether COVID or it was due to mismanagement. At the end of the day, we no who say what yede woda no. Ntimkofo no say hu by way of strategy no. It is not wise to present such a candidate again. Because no be any say dollar ho asem ye do ba se be ye hu yi ti o manfo no de o munyum egu won munyum esei won musika asem o say they don't care who how ye de o
mo hiya nyina ye solution
sa be na ye pe solution no instead of you to address it now waka say oh you give people hope no sa be no what was he talking about? He was talking about digitalization. Into such a candidate no again they are tweeting such a candidate no nkofo de bufu betu atia no by virtue say wonu hu say oka ho bi no manya de answer say nie again how do you then separate such a candidate from Akufo-Addo say ono de onka ho ade bi e papa aban mu bia no wo say ono mum na ye de eyeye but what is the basis in dia eba exchange rate in dia wo say ono de onka ho DDEP so kai domestic debt exchange program ayi ukofo a telephone haircut or savings do on how do you separate him from it? NAPCO, na ya under office of the vice presidency for over almost 2 years here, 100,000.
As a man who and run Brian, a chamber said we meeting delegates, people baby na oka and not as a vice president failed. Say about 100,000 people which year or maka from the president's office.
Yes. And American
no, as I said, na or minor in Nisika. And I said, na you run on us, and yes, also Kopesika be baby.
My question is, then we shouldn't have had a vice president. Consoling Kofi. My question is, if everything is on minor, who is the vice president? More make it look like the vice president had no place in the governance. Is that the logic that Bawumia's campaign?
And yes,
legitimate digitalization. Yes, so na paperless spot, yes, so na mobile money interoperability, na Sabrina, they're not minding the challenges. But when there are challenges and you have to be bold and take those up and take responsibility, say, this is where we find ourselves. But I'll fix it. And no, Nipan and Kanwas and what channel. We are, must say, at the Papa Biano, on the Kofa by. But the end, the NCP and the Akufo. How do you become a leader in that? Leadership take responsibility. Mamenka Samontero, the economy where I try, Domehane, Kuku near Fu near yes, all of Unu Jawa Japadia, Uja Kukwa. Oyo odo do ho na esikaba ho ayede udibi de betwadu anedi na ne maba no ono ka so mo pesa kotwa school fees so dimi ka just your responsibility. It's also part of your responsibility. That is the beauty of leadership. Ndi nipa ka no ono say we di Akufo-Addo na ye we di Akufo-Addo na ye ya. At that time where was he? Me just you say the papa ba dia Dr. Bawumia at the papa bia wa ban bia nya Akufo-Addo. But at the Bonibia Akufo-Addo, but Dr. Bawumia. That is not how leadership is. Leadership takes responsibility. You can't say Obawa Nibi, Oyebi. But I'm saying, sir, no mama Obosui, DDEP. How do you separate him from DDEP? One the can say when they almost Kennedy or Francis and
when the fundamentals are weak.
And I say when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. At the time when the exchange rate had moved from 4 to 17, and
they exposed him.
And yes, and Kennedy or Francis no. Or could Central Region co promise almost say or so besi Akufo-Addo so besi airport among Akufo-Addo cars on go nim some promise and watch. And Kennedy or Francis.
That's why you're Bawumia after elections are babon to Abepagana for United and you see ye piano. Women me say one more I am from sure. Ghana for fanche. So say Ghana for bit me you ran from sure at the channel. Yes, a party no at the choir. Ya dia channel till bit me win the elections.
It is in his own right place to do that. Nanka he should have done that way earlier. Kasa bebe ne when ye way nyina so emba.
I far delayed.
Yes, because from day one almost at say blame Akufo-Addo. Say and na to be a tima nyina ebusa say na Akufo-Addo na nyoma from day one and they created an okay I call thank you to and I was there.
Yeah,
I say video about ntimi na me video no ka say ya to poor mu
Yes.
Ghana her president at 2 we use the deregulation formula. But also to full no nim say ya said I saw pursue lose election. What I say that was from day one his attempt to shift blame on President Akufo-Addo. Now, Sanya Yano, Nipa Edwaba party, Sabreko, you're not a member of the party. No Benya Kwenya some party no for the past 16 years had been in the helms of affairs of the party. Enya Kwenya did your party and become the second gentleman of the land. I agree you benefited the highest and the biggest beneficiary of MPP party at Dr. Bawumia, because you were not a founding member, you were not a member of the party. 2008 they had to waive membership and sign away the Utimenya the Abem. Unya Kwenya Nipa do odo buy before election I organize lectures, both solutions. Both solutions is just to separate work from or no. And so you levy mitchum, we betting tax mitchum. Nobody says it can't mean. But let's look at another communication. Oko no akaje Ghana for say COVID na the way in a day aba. And until may timid measures we a buy. Mejitum said ya hocha day aba. But I assure you say it's temporary. Within the shortest possible time, Dr. Bawumia, when I'm voted upon, I'll fix it. That was not the communication. The communication is say, we omade buy and consult to me. We na minim hoshi. Nasane yen. Who of a woo, Coco no the old didi efa. Na the maba some by school fees and a food the house no. Nobody does that. You free one year thank you to. Okay, thank you to. The first comment I say to Petrum no the no him. A vice president of the country is saying to Petrum no him. And actually, so Tibia, one must say Agyapong no masem and a day a Lusu election. And I was asking miracles about it.
But don't you think, sir, it could have been any factor, sir, and yet a larger contributory factor, at least minute to be kakra?
Arrogance of power, no. Agyapong no masem and arrogance of power, no. Didi yip ne Agyapong no masem. Napko 400,000 inch or Mokane Agyapong no masem. Oko promises Central so BC Airport, I won't see ne Agyapong no masem. You see, let's be realistic. Kennedy, the head of the economic management team. Kennedy, the car say, I'll fix the economy. Kennedy, the car say, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate to expose you. You make all these remarks, your coalition, then you turn around and blame Kennedy Agyapong. Kennedy Agyapong, try a turn on. We are not saying he's a spotless candidate. Can you nip up? Or an announcer said you'll be our announcer. A busy Kenya temperamental, me, I don't see like that. Or you'll be all your resource person, or the Jumasa on Saw, very passionate about getting results. A busy say, oh, can there, or can't, or we are not born drama. But born dreamer will say, when you need resource, you should be more interested in somebody who can fix and put food on your table. What's up, more Juma? Or more Juma now when you're Jumani, no born drama. A better sin will be a since 92 BC, or also a humble. Most of those who purpose to be humble, they are actually not humble. A lot of them are just weak people, very weak candidates. No more bar, no more appear as humble. No about within from 92 till now, your unemployment issue, intimate fix say, your health sector, intimate fix say, your roads, intimate fix say. Then the Pakras have a catcher say, or no, you're humble, tear the trouble. Ken is not a spotless candidate, but we are saying, say, yeah, they can turn Sanyeni with all the other candidates. In 2028, Ken has a better chance of winning the elections for us. And to be just say, Ken not transfer, Busan, we say, Ken not transfer. Does it include when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate to expose you? Does it include the DDEP? When they fail to pay NAPCO, does it include that? When Omokoye promise a man where he central for say Mudada Assembly Airport, does it include that? Can a start at 1 week? See, one more new free, let's face the facts. Know how look at how there is a miracle about the address Ken. As a now, the back to have been no address on a young man like you, the penny way, could you try the videos, situate it and frame it out of context? Now they are better not a KBI.
Esquire, my BBC, there is a general perception saying even in the last elections, not the voter, NPP among you no inya yeno. Yeah, many people from the NPP voted for the NDC. Simply because there is a party womo ebuefu. As I say, muhia unity. Do you think, sir, out of this NIPA 5 womo a contest no? Ken is the unifier amongst all of them?
No, I don't think many people voted for the NDC. No. If we look at the data, NDC only appreciated by 100,000 votes. When you compare.
But I don't know if
yeah, but I mean there was also a friend say voter register also it also went up they had registered a lot of people. So in the other things, NDC should have rather had more votes. What really happened is say NDC votes controlled by just 100,000. Yeah, votes sit by, if compared to 2020, votes sit by 2.1 million. The NDC should have rather had 2.1 million votes difference with us, but it didn't work like that. The votes difference was rather 1.7 million. In the Osha, it is not the case MPP for Nakotoma and NDC. What happened is MPP for no majority now and they ankoto. What they compare to 2020, 2020.
Okay, it is a majority in the ground control. I still come back to my question and say now people are aggrieved.
I was coming there. So the question is still hanging. So 2.1 million didn't go and vote. 1.7 million votes difference. But you see, the reason why I'm saying is yes, apathy is there. No? It's not only apathy. But Nkofona Omokoto Abana Ankasa didn't like the candidate present. It has matter to do with trust and credibility.
Oh, I see.
Yes, the reason they say
a candidate Bawumia candidate.
Yes, they didn't like it. Let me prove to you why Bawumia candidate and Omompe I had no Yibion. Abaya Koto Yano. Since 92, presidential elections and the parliamentary elections, since 92 Nkwano Moto separately. 1996 even no moto yede ebum. No moto a Abribia, the history is that and the data is that presidential need more votes than the parliamentary. Since 92, by RBC 2020. It is only in 2024 and a candidate MPP Abako Semnum. Parliamentary ni momunya
the votes appreciated
than the president.
Okay.
And interestingly, Nipa on mobile to about 2.1 million voters no mametono. One more mobile to yeno. 345,000 plus etoma parliamentary candidates. One would we no mututia presidential. That should let you know, say, one who say ordinarily no, will be our skirt and blouse. Over to presidential and what 20 parliamentary, local issues. Sure. But for the first time in the history of MPP politics and in the history of our country, we rather had blouse and skirt, the reverse. Because we go for to my parliamentaries, rather, no more to tier presidential. So clearly from day one and from the start, they didn't like the candidate. Mamaka some choice. Say you say baby MPP Jano, a new program, and for that reason we need a new face and a new candidate. Abaya Kotroyan, there were 7 regions for Ghana. Your candidate failed to win a single constituency. If this is not rejection, what are you talking about? 7 regions, your candidate failed to win a single constituency. Wouldn't him say 276 constituencies? 276 constituencies are Ghana. A more 199 constituencies to abetia your candidate. Openitia 199 to aba etia your candidate election. Menoka say candidate will lead you to the general elections on first near 137 seats and your election. Ashaba atiaba 87. There were 4 regions were Ghana ha. Okona busa say MPP member of parliament where you need single member of parliament. There were 9 regions were Ghana ha. Cumulatively, no member of parliament is 98 seats. MPP will move 5, and this will move.
All right, to clear doubt of young Croft will be a ETA, be a worker 7 regions, and maybe a constituency to Wakano, Womo, and the western regions, Greater Accra region, Volta region, Central region, Northern region, Upper Eastern and Upper West. Please, may you correct?
Yes. Will fail to win a single constituency. 7 regions. In 7 regions, we fail to win a single constituency in 7 regions, and there are 9 regions are parliamentary. No, open parliamentary. No, 98 seats, 98 MPP or 5, and or NDC 193. And now we say, oh, na so on contest parliamentary. Na there now the question is no so on the just a question and there can be until the preempt chairman. Didn't hear Kasa and say, we have Ghana Bakosema, and this is very important for me to put to Ghanaians here, especially Asante Achem Central for. We have Ghana Bakosema. Party beer in Akonya some 8 years, maybe. Okay, 92 to 2000. Say NDC Rollins.
Sure.
And 2000 to 2008, a year President go for.
Sure.
Okay, Brad Rollins, if you 2000 crown. No person will ye or did most yet ever. Ghana first will try 8 years. And now President Kofosu free, so no person there Kufa Doba. Akufa Doba we need first round on Zokaya.
Yeah.
We need with 100,000 votes difference. Now we here bet 23,000. No more time. I called the Dane. In Jakufa so in 2008 is why the same people much on 8 years here. 2008, Esoba ABC 2016 is another 8 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And also Professor Mills nearby. One who do free mu. mo kaya Sam ya wo de bia Mahama to aso Mahama so beto aso no so kwa ono so try se ko no benya ne 8 but man fa ma no omo say ndisi mo nya mo 8 awi amonya de onko ena no so be
omo ka Yura tabels de no
ene Mahama de no yes Mills and Mahama de no. Then from 2016 to 2024 so Akufo-Addo ono so benya 8 years MP ono mo wie so ono so try so de Bawumia besi so na no so anya de anya yi no. Now this is the principle that I'm underlying to you update. That Oshimu pa ye kana krache ho anka 2024 kinu MPP de eso. Because 2028 because 2024 to 2028 is just 4 years. Inti practically in Kagana for because any omuntwa nkosi omo 32 no 8 years na dey enso. Inti 2028 aba ye kono ya ba ne kana krache ho ba kenye dey kinu yeso. Ti 2028 no ade ye koya ye hi obi na ne ede a okọ emperifo kaka se bomo so okọ ro ne kawa ye dey afa na beti na akọ ro bi kawa afa na beti a eni ho sa because kawa bia eni ho etimi firi nsa peti ayi so ede ba timi ro fa ni pa na beti ayi so do se kan ye dey etwe ni pa ko
ya se Ghana politics no nya politics of a bia but na ne etem ideas.
No, I'm coming there. I want to land on this before I move to the next question. So hold on with that question for me so that I finish this analogy on the ideas. But the point I'm making is I just said the echo. Now I'm making two comparisons. In 2020, right, and 2024. In 2020, what kind of course? Electoral Commission, you to abandon on my space of 72 hours. No, cast 72 hours to be making declaration. Sabre President Mahama. Unzo lose election by 500,000 votes difference. Me chere wa de kunti ameka say, unse me am busa question say parliamentary no. Eh then na you so tey you can blame the candidate for that. I am coming there. Now, Osha, one mo ebuba ba wie ya President Mahama lose ya wo so wonyin tumu no. Wo ye kan also lose election. Sabre ni 169 seats in parliament. Ye kan also lose. Ba person no lose by 500,000 votes difference.
They call court.
Or they call court to 90 no. O jina na so a make sure say ye kan parliamentary nyina ye dey. Ewie. Emo no na ye be chair ne pe 137. Eno no mo de tete ye parliament a ye hu ye hia.
Be ye
hang parliament. Now you move from 2020 to 2024. 2024 ye share coalition bi. Electoral Commission my 72 the same 72 hours. In less than 15 hours, na candidate akwajatum. Was say ya tutu ama na afa na so ho. So na atu na afa na so ho nti na ma de action on de ohu ba bi e ne gina pen. Nti wa election no ono so on de wagene de aye de atum. Ye kwaka ngofo se wo ye for the interest of peace and said about your mind be janya the entum. Rather what he did was rather deepen the cracks and the tension. Because on the mind is if onya kukudru eko polling stations in the coalition centers eko sese ho one mu gigi seat in be free ensem. So we say yes why did they take the court to reverse 7 of the seats to us? Later ye court and send a court to just 7 seats ahead. Amaye
ye rubber Bawumia from sworn and mass
sa George 2 muntam. It was completely needless. It was unnecessary. It was just about his image. He just wanted to look good. No ojo on kwade ehu. Said the Bayer Becca so we are some here for the next election. Mahama,
but don't you see Dr. Haji Bawumia as to be our person here?
Oh, one name person, but from 92 to now, see a tour about to Kwesi. And this year, tour about 72 hours. Eh, Mamma Casamancho. In Saudi, we are captain of a ship. Now the ship on an hour or so. Now we encounter any emergency. So, doctor, what you do, the protocols is that all captain, or you should be the last person also here who free shipping him. Oh, captain ni live wood ba kunsim na onyi ba ko ma oyere na mu enko say ye mo ense ma mo na mo de mo safe mo rescue mo omo maka na the beauty and the rules is that as a captain now you should be the last person to leave the ship, including the ship no senke kra also na ojan. That is leadership. And I tell you say what is the contest asema making na make be say 2028 na 2028 na enye dia no se de obi a okwa akwaje election na tumuntem obi ono de army kwa woko ya yedru ha ye bo pro tufa na no apa baby ada na yeshutu soldier for na aka. It won't work. It is the cause of why we have the 87 parliamentary seats. And we are saying say ye nipa ya kukudru for in 2028 one NDC for EDBC ni ase dun ketiano wono a omodene ba se Julius omodene ba se se do na near dem pa na say nru ye so na aka che say udu obi ye kwa less than 15 hours no akwaja tum onye parliamentary for no ne ade. So we need a candidate like Agyapong na near din obetimaji tumi ayede aba enya sa to your second question, Abusa, on those rich ideas, all those rich ideas will not come into play. Yeah, I need to me our rich ideas and I become Pasiama and food try the Abo. And who said they are rich ideas? Obu rich ideas no be. Because Japan Nipa or no will be the biggest steel factory in Africa, will be the biggest coal store in Africa, or the biggest coal store in West Africa, or a Mantem starch factory, or fruit juice factory, or Asing, or media groups, or real estate business with about 270.
Maybe you rubber with me and water economy a frontier affairs no. You baby say you may who can win be. It meant me yanti be the but I say more when you akwanya aben no ni MPP no anantini be na munim.
Oh no, I'll tell you what Kennedy Japan is. Kennedy Japan is a businessman. I don't think Bawumia is a businessman. But we see, na me kasi asem so. Says our rich ideas. Obi on what track record that created jobs for about 7,000 people, 7,200 plus people. What me? My bobo factories in Newman will be in the media businesses, in the real estate businesses. Real estate require about 277 houses, and I'm saying it's 277 houses. So a security person back up, it will cleaner back up, it will garden person back up, multiply by 277 in each house.
By three.
And by 3, no quite say. So, into how then do you say says I need to new rich ideas? No, Obi or buyer or no any chrome. There is no single factory or one village, one damn boy and demand in his own rate. What are you talking about? It's Omoka say Kennedy about Dr. Bawumia rich items. New Nipa said that born no says one day and I or ideas been the way we are saying new view.
There's nothing the young shop between say idea no ultimate conceive idea no. But say ma idea actualizing na yehuno and materializing no nipa din and
oh one answer my question how boy me. The point is say Ghana we are tired of rich ideas. We don't need rich ideas again. All the rich ideas we are seeing now we took now exposure all the rich ideas. What we need is implementation. Nipa wa kukudro or peno or temano or when niswadi or when you deno so be implemented. For instance, say galamsey for a year to bomb. If you come out, ideas are the mention say mine and the cost properly. No most minus no so your master dear, not buying so your master dear no. Do you need anybody to tell you now? Now paper so I church go, but you need that courageous leader of minus no mind. Say minianum. Yeah, the new mining models here they eba. And the most is any day. You see, more than say their minimum day and Nadri, and more Muhian, Moncana Fine day, and Mammo, Namuntiminian, Jumania, and Gosso. Its leadership has nothing to do with ideas. And we are talking about a leader or no bar or yet bold and assertive and pragmatic. Maybe ideas. And I said, send me a lawyer. And Mabe and any crewman and your fine. But the air crew Muhano. Basic enforcement and compliance, the rule safety enforcement. Yeah, my muham penifoko and buso. Lanku said do traffic lights with chem, police region cause abachian. Said the any womb, said the and yajuma. Do you need new laws? You don't need new laws. You need a leadership that can say enough is enough. Sanitation laws. Do we need new laws? Oh, ya chiro that say wo tungura to abonten say dey ya do famra kwa so do you need new laws? You need a leader of catch say me ma obi anya dey.
I don't say
so we don't need new
to
ideas.
To a very large extent I agree.
You don't need new ideas be unemployment enkofo nya dwuma nya why name say there is a link between agriculture and socio-economic transformation. Our real sonko e da kuayo and your mind be aye dey empuntum. The arable lands in the north, the arable lands shall kwagwa aha be free. And sase be
wafa
can't you mechanize can't you you start cassava alone banche Kennedy Japan so they be created the new galamsey, the new gold mine banche cassava alone
me ba to honi kiremu yi o say galamsey no be any dey
say you can't galamsey and kofo nim say jam goodness ka wo but I tell you say bibi dey say starch
okay
it is ethanol alcohol ya numi one mu manufacture bibi free banche ye de emu wonu say kasaprekon alone Ghana ha kasaprekon kwatimi import every year $2 billion worth of ethanol alcohol on the Ghanaian market alone. Nigeria market in my the rest of the African countries in my ethanol no one a year in free me a banche we are there are other 29 byproducts out to me the enya see a cash invest in cassava alone they are produce ethanol galamsey menho gold be anywhere be
every kura me kan ye na media me suggestion be kura me say na jakaye nhwe na ye introduce bibi as a plastic mining na ye twa manfo adwene na mra so say plastics aya totu agu no wo sori anopa na wo pese wo ye ya betimi 1950 go mine these things na ye fan ko recycle
so omo de ba ko bi so buy say kura wo nya scrap on top so omo de scrap mining buy wo so idea na strong power no scraps here dada who is we kura boys ko dada bi wo from tam
apoto say dia listen be no mo adwene aba ho
is we nya scrap
say rubber no de to for mo no
omo so until we should be looking at alternative and that make us the point is that do you need those ideas are there.
Okay,
tourism Singapore for a year the link between tourism and socio-economic transformation I can ho asem say tourism one biggest industry or they be boa am mine in this kind of memua and the mantia enya oko Singapore their population is around they are not more than 9 million, right? If I get the data right, they are not more than 9 million, right? But one more day tourism and I develop more mine tourist science and tourist attraction be anywhere memua ntia de nti oba ya santia chemuha and sa se be ndi ni kuafo be ndi why can't we assist them? And then obi a wesi ne dan bia de body na ye de esi why can't we get farming inputs for them? I didn't see any form into groupings yem pay mechanized farming for them yem pay social security for them. Why can't we do
Singapore population now can 6.11 million.
Okay,
as of June 2025.
Very well, thanks for the correction. Yes, Jono is about 6 million, which is even makes my case even stronger. If they are about 6 million or so, and yeah, it even makes it then only just a population of 6 million on the tourism it must so money, and we can't use tourism to change our country. So and these are ideas that are already there.
All right,
countries have templates.
Yeah, be Honorable Kennedy a compare Agyapong granted say and yako elections delegates are approved no akwa kujina 2028 Ghana for atoaba ede amano by 2032 Ghana be yesen
Kennedy be ya de ba kope ubusam said there normal me na Kennedy be ya by 2032 he's going to create jobs. The second one he's going to create jobs. The third one he's going to create jobs.
So it's jobs.
Yes, jobs. Yes. And one Kennedy.
I didn't be brain. You man know what?
Bra, na dia na umay mu ha here. Mamenka sa moncho. Yeah, packing kind pa.
I said you might bet me but akatua na nye papa.
Me ba oh, yeah now predicting questions. Predicting me. Mamenka chow. World Bank. One more year research me. One more say by 2030 and beyond. Sub-Saharan Africa need developing economies. Nipa ebepe juma should be about 1.2 billion job seekers. Out of our 1.2 billion job seekers, emube 800 million jobs will not be existent. If you have say oh the World Bank asemi you are seeing enti wo de yem famra yebibremu ha no. Ghana Statistical Service the World Bank say your unemployment rate is 14%. Do you hear about that ourselves for juma? But in raw sense no one ntimi nya decent life. Una de kuntia because almost a question na na answer almost 80% of omo ye adwuma kra no they are underpaid. Nti e wonwuma nipa be 80% ya one almost less than 3,000. Yeah, think crying. And they have single room 2,000 cedis. Now beto fuel in a month yes. Now beto fuel ubetua oma nkwala mensa school fees meboa ubetua light bill ubetua water bill a years we obako akobonsa ubako wedding ubako asori ube you tight nti krom hankasa the people are magicians and the corruption near the eban. Now Ghana Statistical Service is also telling you say 20% of the population are living in abject and extreme poverty. And wusha yema emu hanka ba pa de sikani bia de anyhow one more mo ye djuma krasa ye djuma ye de egu. If you are not very careful, be this 60 years now compensation. Let's say baby ko ni utie the editor. And you can so saying say baby a ebetimi anan kwa be fa so some way sa status quo e building businessmen. What I say and building a lot of businesses or be turning Ghana into entrepreneurial hub. Now we're bringing a lot of businesses. Konongwa businessmen say na wa ebia olu no mo ebia Mark Bennett no mo wo de e fan say wo businessmen be 20 wa ha no obi atimi fa 10 workers at this time around increase their capacity no ntimi fa 100 it becomes to create 2,000 jobs. One of some person who businesses no more muska no money day and started businesses not buying no and then say any day in culture. Give soft loans to women, give soft loans to young men, give soft loans to one more existing businesses. The end the Asia for you see a friend Asian miracle models no. The bedroom be na physical boom because be a day it would juma day. Now okay. All rely on the government of the day and you man the government of the day won't mean physical for bill. Yeah, kwanya tutu kwani adano. Adwuma bi e twa sika pa won bi anya ba adwuma. It's a private sector.
All right.
Because buying the money scan why say.
It is you're Kennedy bar private businesses no okwan ben should obefa no we created this enabling environment no work no. Na e be guarantee says obi say environment no ho no there certainly ni sika be ba ma wo ye adwuma yetime twa okaye.
Oh, na maka say he spoke about the Asian miracle model. Say kwa Asia for far so ye omo no. Yen sha omo private businesses na there ase. Obi also person ye business bia maniskanya dey enye. Wonim say no na me ne obi ka say was Germany. One more loans ni bi high just 1% interest. In so number of
really?
Yes, 1%. By ya ha oji loan sa 23%, 32%. Oji is auto di tika ho. Because adwuma no ye dey ebe dey ebegu. Untimi ntwa. Owi anu anu no ye dey wafiri. Na sa asem na asem ye dey eko. Jede dey ntimi nya sa ansese yi ni bi wa. Empesika ense businesses na say. So government will be very intentional. Onim the American the na then say he's a businessman. He understand the business. He understand the politics of the business. Ekoso. And we nim no man affected businessmen. The factory we see we a steel factory. One money ECG for ne kan say the kania ne ade beba ho. One mu we almost there be omuntimi. I just okofa source ni free gate ko. And no alone is $12 million. The imagine say $12 million in ade our budget fa. They cover be raw materials they have your businesses automatically company you need somebody who understand this go through then you be understand or kind book theory or no say or no economists and say be or rich ideas. No, you need a practical person when you understand no bit you Ken is a practical person. He has both the experience and understanding whatever to mind
Mathieu na mahwezo so honorable Kennedy ne some delegates ekasa we saw delegates in so far we di party na chi no dan na wanya party no wo mu a ya na bebi wo ho no as a delegate was about them
ma men ka so ncho ade bi eni paye bia no or expectation e dey wo bibia ni ho a so rekoya wo ya interest ni ma ese odi akire woni pakro wote da sabra na ma so ni dia ko so chobui no ajisu ye wonim dia ko so bia no munye nipa me fa so ye nipa kan ade bi nipa na mo nipa etu bia ese onya mfa so de de ewum politics nyina say e de empeja ene nsesan ne mpuntu beba nipa asetena ne nipa ye de abrabom nti wontimi nsum political party ana wontimi nsum oman na wonya hweye de ewum. I've always maintained that there is always an interest even in doing good. We do good to look good. Obetra hay minua say djuma na obeyo o sorry na say de bia o sorry na obe djuma na wunya hwe say nka wontimi sorry ma
okay ka ye jai kra
wo jai kra ko po ba bia ye de ada ebisu kra wo sa tia kra sa pakatwa ye de entumu ko ne nyina so ye de e wo ho nti amanyo sem na de nya e de pemfa so e de sesan nipa da che de sesan nipa abrabo nti udi party e na e ma eno kra kan obi na mu invitation bi so mu se bebe te se konongo ha say wo sia delegates na one more enya appointment to aban ni mu enya board so try enya offend say bia appointments ministry appointment enya CEO positions no money ade no wo hwe wo dia many problem wo hwe no ka se yenkodi Dr. Bawumia chia many problem but on nipa no in a space of 8 years when few na say nipa ko na be huru say okotoko ha me you from okotoko ha me you from. I am telling Ubia say I'm the spokesperson of Kennedy Agyapong. I have the authority to tell Konongo delegates say can say you're to near to mana obe protected delegates on you be in Frabon. Obia ni where so Timmy no bia. Nipo be hunu buza say no nko nyina baby. Ni baby I hoba boa no akogire jaho. Ono ko di obi achi a ho abeboa no ntin wa ye de akogire. Na ono de on timi ma onko gina baby ye de ebeboa. Inti hu ni ade a ono de ahye Konongo delegates mu say wo ko ha ebe yu afrim wo ko ha ebe yu afrim me ka kire mo say ken yo moto aka na enyi obi anya de efrim. Ken will protect everybody. One man ne beyan sese na omo ba ye pese de omo ka ho no ye de omo ye de aka ho. Nti people should understand that. Na Ken ba nya se enyu mfiri abon no mu keke. Ken be hwe delegacy for no by giving them jobs. Because delegates they be a casu delegates or more muscanoma so much junior as any panel. It be a no jumaya de ende. No jumo deposit in the corner de on your day. Diabemo be a jumaya. Both certificate and non-certificate job. Who was certificate and more certificate job? Only certificate to say big non-certificate jobs are the amount. Now face so no adia bakwe yame pa and the ken a memo nyaba only delegates.
When your political promise.
Oh, political promise no HSA.
Zama your phobia me ashabo.
So you look at the credibility of Nipana will make a promise no.
Okay.
Ken on the credibility to say or can or ya na so can or no. In terms of his consistency, he's been consistent with normal way. Okay. If I say I'll create certificate and non-certificate jobs, opportunities in a body bia, na yam compare nya the MA microphone, and they do also any ayan basa na and the mamino can say, would you call security service and go for call security service? Yamuka ka almost more tribal politics. Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Defense in Yadena. The past 8 years, we had our friends and brothers from the north from Nomo. And naturally, a Hong Kong opportunities in Yadena call. Konongo for me muasa na sante for me muasa no more opportunities no. Oko ka say yeso ya omusu ono mo de ya tribal politics. Na sabra ya tribal man ordinary na kan for any ho. We are talking about say oko one perform. Yeso ya toma ya yeso there is nothing wrong with say yeso ya toma ya neso nipa o ha me free konongo ha so tame so manya kwanya o ha security service ba e be so be saban for. There's nothing wrong.
Secondly, dear, what hey within you wo sha vote be appreciated by saying what the sign about the
so my main cousin way one more there is a difference between marketability and visibility. In the case of Ken, or a marketable and visible. You say almost Dr. Bawumia is the most marketed person in Ghana and Tiasana. Ken Diano marketability just say ya ton wa ede ya beto ya jiwatum ana visibility just say ye more but be anya the ento konongo say me wura edwomu ha ebi abewura me na bi obi eben wo pa but nto so no boye eno wonto because be one side dey eguso even though wahu no onya dey onto.
Oh, okay,
but marketability says
okay, the visibility ni betumi awo but na marketability ni
ho ana marketability says nto so dey wahu esoso efe kama anti eno no be dey obeto nti we Ken track record na nkofo wo gidi woni mu say Ken dey o kana adwen Ken dey o kan oyo Ken dey o akukudru Ken dey o kan okre Ken dey o discipline eno na ema ye nyina ye wa rehemu ana nya no nko a wo de mo mfa mo cameras na mo nko around the country na mo de mo nko konongo market ya na mo nko busa se ho na mo de ne ba ye be de ye beto ama no o meka se mo de Ken ba ye be de ye beto mo ko school de na busa se ho na mo de ne ba ye beto ama na o meka che se mo de Ken ba ye be de ye beto o ko asori na busa asori for se ho na ye beto ama na o mo se mo de Ken ba ye beto mo ko muslimi for busa se mo de ho na ye beto ama na o mo se mo de Ken ba ye be de ye beto enti utietie ni nyina. Let's say just less than 3% of the population of we delegates you could yam about 80 million voters in a day. Let's say the Ken ba one by the ebeto. And what we are saying is say Ken no ba all banner you will be a all baby we vote either ama MPP. He's coming, it's not about what is coming to add, but it's about coming to take power for the MPP. And I show you say Ken no na kuko drone the near deno when you say don't get yamu de sia onyane. Yesi bedi akodi fatana kono nyen kwakwanu ase nti ono ono mu besi ani agetumi ayede ama MPP. And I'll show you one is a Ken ba oba begitumi ayede ama MPP nti entie de Ghana for oka entie de dodo na yaka omo so mo de Ken ba ebede ebeto na wa amfana ama no sa akoye ba akoye sa akoye na ano de ni bia emfa so bi anya de eni so it's not about what is coming to add, it's about what he's bringing on board, right, which is say obegitumi ayede ama MPP.
All right, lawyer medas let's ya fabre na kakra kama na bibi wo hon matter say modisi mabako de betudwa na afi ya sorry so
oh de me de be ka ho ye dwato na me de be to ye de legacy anim obo kwa so na ho brase kwa so se bi otumi no wo dia na tumi no so ye kwhre na de bia no ha wo kwhre wo de gidi na ede esre enti Ken de dwato ai so mo so no abeba no mabekasa but de bo kwa so ho brase kwa so ne kasa de kwa so won mo enkai ewra Ken o hina Agyapong no so nye de emboa na nyankopon pa intimi to me ma MPP. But most importantly, my many parts are so any delegate. I mean, me understand the Konongo dynamics very well. Menya Konongo politics, but attack Konongo politics. Hapa, minim ha Konongo album yes no. Minim kwaya who controversy se wo ho ibia Kofi Fosu and then bofa I we dey so mo nyina di kwansan kromo baba we dey di kwansan kro dey how dey omo nko adai me MC so me nwa be ma yakwate so me bi ono so dey me tia o mu mensa nyina no dia me and my politics no and the dynamics and how it is going but the MSC delegates no say obi bi ni dia why dey
why ni ye
say wono mo edidi ma mu bia ba bi o mo gina no mo nya dey eni o machi na say 8 years no so wo hwe na anko yi no wo edidi anya ma obi ani a politics and loyalty is not slavery wono mo nyina ba bi o mo ye dey epe ehunu bia anyi ho ye dey wo obi antimi se obi amfira bonim obi antimi nyi obi amfira bonim se say opposition wo de sia ye betwa wo de tare ye be wai ohunu bia anya de eni ba bia nti wono mo nya kokoduro na se ken no mo pa o mo ntie de dodo na ye dey eka so mo zuzu say nya ken so na be boa na Dr. Bawumia so no 1.7 million votes difference so tete 1.7 million what they compare Muhammad 8 years at 1 million he should be doing about 16 years this is 50 na 16 become 166 say and also near pedia fa ba be dem wogide senya na delegates near the epe one mo e de 2 million be man yankopon pa ken on the 31st na e de nkunimdie abrɛ na e de no nyam so abrɛ pipi be da se
lawyer e be da se no